What's cracking, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be more of a dedicated one towards just cleaning these stinking headlights up. So if you are if your headlights are looking anything like mine, then this video might be a little bit helpful to you. So basically what I have here, this is the headlight off of my 92 INTEGRA. These are the Japanese one-piece headlights made of plastic. The American USDM ones or whatever are all glass in a three-piece unit, whereas this one is like I said, plastic, one piece, whatever. And these things tend to get, just like any plastic headlight, they're gonna yellow over time. So in this case, a lot of people just do the typical headlight restoration kit. Some people use, I don't know, crap like toothpaste, orange juice, stuff like that. You've seen the little gimmicks online and on Google and TikToks and such like that. So I'm actually going to try and do it the right way. I'm going to be wet sanding the headlights. They have been restored once before, just using like a cutting compound or a polishing compound basically. So this time I'm actually going to wet sand them, and then I'm going to shoot some clear coat over them. I do have clear coat that I will be shooting in a gun, but you don't need a gun. You can do it right out of a can. Nothing wrong with that. I just have some clear here that I need to use up just because I don't want it to go to waste. So let's get started. So there's a few different ways that you can actually go about doing this. It's really simple. You don't have to stress yourself. It's nothing crazy. So one of the options is a drill, and if you buy one of those headlight restoration kits at the store, usually they come with like this little drill adapter like this, and then you end up getting like these little foam pads. I've already burned through this doing a few of them before, so I only have 1 or 2 discs on that. So we're going to use one of those, and then the other way is the good old sheet of sandpaper, and we're going to be wet sanding this, so make sure that you've got some water handy, soapy water as Chris Fix would call it. Yeah, soapy water is just to help keep it lubricated. Got mine here, got my drill, I got some sandpaper. Let's get right into it. So these things are already looking a whole heap better than they were before. The camera does it a little better justice than in person because they are pretty hazy right now, obviously having just sanded them, but they're not nearly as yellow anymore. So now for me, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Speedo coat. This is the same clear coat that I used when I had painted my Miata way back when. So it should still be okay, and if this paint or this clear ends up not being okay, I'll just wet sand it off and I'll use some can stuff. But in the meantime, I'm gonna mix some of this stuff up. I believe the mixture on this is just 2 to 1, so 2 part clear, 1 part activator / hardener, and then I got my mixing cups, and I just have a Harbor Freight gun right here, and it's always done me justice. You don't need a really fancy spray gun at all. I've been using the Harbor Freight guns for a while. Not saying I'm a professional, I'm far, far from it, but as a hobbyist, it does total justice for you. So obviously if you're doing this on the car, mask off what you gotta mask off, because nothing else on the headlights really needs to be masked off in this case because it's just clear. I'm not gonna bother with it. You do what you think is best for you. For me, it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna shoot them as is. They have been wiped down with wax and grease remover just in case I touched them with my fingers at all, so you guys should probably do the same. But I got the compressor loaded, just gonna hook up my gun. I set my air pressure with the gun to about 33, 35 PSI. This seems to work good for me and the Harbor Freight gun. So that's what I like to do. So I'm gonna go ahead, pour the clear in the gun, come out here, and we'll get to shooting. You can already see after even one coat, these things are gonna look so much nicer. And I can already tell there's a little bit of orange peel, so that is to be expected, especially when you're running like open atmosphere, blah, blah, humidity. There's high humidity today, so that plays a big part in it. Nothing that a good wet sand and polish can't fix. And obviously if you're looking for the best results, you're gonna have to cut and polish, wet sand, buff, whatever you wanna call it, after this is all done anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for a few minutes in between each coat. I made a small batch, so I'm gonna just use the whole thing. I'm probably gonna get a good 3 to 5 coats out of it, which is good because these headlights pretty much had nothing left anyway. So the more clear, the more you have to work with. And this stuff shoots really thin anyway, but that's just my case. Obviously, your results may vary. Just finished spraying all the clear, so I think I probably got like legit six coats in there. I just kind of kept layering it because I just poured too much. So they are looking super great, and I did notice that after the coat started drying more and whatnot, the clear was like flattening itself out. Maybe it's because we're right in the sunlight and it's hot out, I don't know. But even now, like, there's very minimal, if any, orange peel at the moment. So I may not even have to cut and polish these. I probably will in a different video at a different time, just to try and freaking almost rolled my ankle. Just to try and get these things to shine as much as they can. But at least in the meantime, these things are looking fantastic. No more of that yellow mumbo jumbo that they were before. But we got a few more goodies to slap on the car. Well, at least at the moment, one more good goodie. If you guys haven't swapped these things out yet, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. These things are cheap. Granted, I waited 6 years to swap them out on this car, but my other Integras I've always swapped them out on. And if you guys don't know what those are, let me show you really quick. So how many of you guys actually use your hatch like regularly, or just open it, store stuff in it, like tools, you know, groceries, whatever, and you go to open it and you smack your stupid head on it because the hatch struts are blown? Well, if you guys haven't already swapped out your hatch struts, what are you doing with your lives? So these ones, you don't have to go get OEM ones, you don't have to get anything fancy. These things are just from eBay, so I don't even know. These ones are boxy, gas charge, lift support. I think the eBay listing said these were specifically the length for our cars, but if you guys don't already, this doesn't even have to be DA specific. If you guys got anything and your hatch struts are blown, your hood struts are blown, whatever you got, quit cheaping out. These things were literally like less than 40 bucks shipped, maybe even like 28. Like, they weren't even bad. So I'm gonna go inside, give myself a few minutes to cool off, and we'll come back out here and we will slap these new things on. They're super, super simple. So yeah, let me show you. So these things are dry to the touch now. I don't know how well you guys can see this. I'm trying to, yeah, there you go. You can see the orange peel that is actually on there. So it really isn't that bad. These headlights still definitely look super nice. For now, I think I'm just gonna test fit them on because I need to test fit them anyway to finish up some of the wiring and stuff, you know, for the wire tuck part that we gotta do yet. But in the meantime, it looks so much better. Like, it's really not that bad. But I will go through and I will cut and polish these things, but probably going to be a little bit easier with them on the car anyway, just so they're not rocking around while I'm trying to do it when I'm using the polisher on it. But when it finally comes down to wet sanding and buffing those things, I'm going to wet sand with like a 2,000 or 3,000 grit. And then for the cut and buff, this is actually what I use. I got this from my brother, but you can also get this stuff online. It is 3D1. It is a cutting and polishing compound. It works extremely well. I've used it on every vehicle I've ever painted. He uses it regularly for like single stage paint corrections and stuff, or one-step paint corrections. I've used it on my hood a few times, which I gotta re-clear that too, but it works really good, so it'll work really nice on this stuff. But I'll get to that when I get to that. So let's grab some hardware really quick and slap these headlights on real fast. Moving on to the hatch struts, let's try and, oh gosh. Yeah, see, normally with new struts, these things are more or less pull themselves up, and this one you can see it sags, and depending on the weather, it doesn't like to stay up when it's really hot or when it's really cold, but it's like this in between, it's kind of okay, but you just barely tap it and it wants to fall right down. So these things are super easy to swap out. You just got these two little clips here, just these, you got one there and one on each end. That simple. It's pull these things off and then it kind of unlocks it and it'll just fall off. This is I should have thought about this beforehand. Okay, that was a lot better. Yeah, this one, you shouldn't be able to compress that by hand. You know, you guys can't even see me because I'm like so darkened up. Let's fix that. Oh, there we are. There I am. So, yeah, they're both on. Much stiffer. My hatch is kind of hard to shut. Now let's go. I'm gonna go pop the hatch quick and see if it opens up on its own. There we go. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was hoping for. Now quit being cheap, go change yours. Alright guys, I'm going to end this video off here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know it probably wasn't the longest one. Forgive the guinea pig in the background. He always gets screaming at me when I start making noises in the kitchen here. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hey, hopefully you've considered subscribing by now. If you want to help support the channel, please use those Amazon affiliate links to just click on them. It puts a cookie in your browser and then you can literally go on Amazon, order whatever, and it helps me out. And then also I have the merch. I have stickers, I have DA bumper bars, I have DA rear bumper bars, I have harness bars. Also for you local guys, hit me up for any custom fabrication work you may need. Anyways guys, do what you love, forget about the rest, and hopefully in the next video we can get this thing running. Well, we know it runs. Hopefully in this next video we can get it put back together enough to drive it. See ya.